Morka, there were many things I talked about. I also talked about the lack of transparency in the coastal road. What would you say about a minister saying that a project was given to one contractor because of competence and not giving others the fairness of competitive bidding? Costing is another one that we've gone back and forth. And with due respect,
yes.
let me finish, Mr. Morka. You said the economy is good.
Sure.
At 25% inflation rate, World Bank projection of 37% inflation rate, things are bad. You said the economy is good. The economy that was handed to President Tinubu was over 200 billion. Today is less than 200, about 199 billion thereabouts. You said the economy is good. More people have jumped into poverty, have been swept into poverty. Inflation is real. And the social factors are not any better. Insecurity has had an uptick. These are also other facts on ground. So tell me, a government that didn't employ transparency, what would you have done for a bidding process for the coastal road? Would you have just given it to one person rather than calling others to at least have an open bidding? And the cost involved, these are the things we are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying.
Rufai, you see, I listened to part of your interaction with the Honorable Minister for what's His Excellency Dave Umahi. I listened to parts of that conversation, and he gave you his explanations for that. And I'm, not being the Minister of Works, I'm not going to sit here and, again, revisit a discussion you had with him. But he gave, in my understanding of your discussion with him, his explanation for how that process was determined. And, if there are, consequential issues you want to take up with him, please do. But as a citizen and listening to your discussion with him, I don't see what was, untoward for a program of that magnitude. You have said, even on that show, you acknowledge the size and the complexity of that road. I mean, this is one superhighway that we have not done and clearly have no experience of doing in the history of our country. So, again, officials who are appointed to, do job like the minister is, saddled with, they are the ones who must make decisions, and you have a right to, come to them with, criticism or observations about what they've done or how they have not done it. That's within your remit as well, as a citizen and as a journalist. I won't, say more on that. But the point is that I don't think there's a question as to whether or not the economy today is stronger than it has ever been. Everyone, all those who should know, are saying it in very eloquent, terms. Whether it's Modi, whether it's, all of the other rating agencies, globally, the World Bank, the IMF, everybody acknowledges. And locally, we're seeing that result. Look, Rufai, I think, let's not set ourselves back in conversation, looking at, framing these questions the way we are. We can say, look, we can acknowledge, we can, agree that things were really horrible and they're getting better, and that the markers look good. Yes, are we exactly where you and I would agree we need to be? I don't think, we can say yes. But we cannot decide that because there are challenges in the system, who said these problems were not created in 2 years? They have been with us for years. So when you want to eradicate poverty like Amechi and his friends, were saying the other day at Amechi's, former governor of Rivers State's birthday celebration, that the president was weaponizing poverty. That's just absurd. Like I said in my statement, 25 years almost, they didn't, eradicate poverty, and so I think it's unfair to expect this president in 2 years, in midterm, to eradicate poverty. That's really unconscionable.
Did you notice the way Felix Morka tried to sidestep the question? You see the way he tried to shrug it off to say there was nothing untoward where you award a contract to one person without following due process, where the Constitution actually made it inappropriate for you to go that direction, where you just award the contract rather than making it open for everyone else to bid. And he says there was nothing inappropriate, there's nothing untoward, and it was okay that it was a project that, or rather, this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road is a project that we've never done in our history. And as such, when they give it out, it doesn't see any problem in it. And that's exactly the same mindset we have. This same government has, pardon me, the same mindset this government has. Because if you assume that this government will follow constitutional processes, that's a lie. The idea that Bola Tinubu just gave out this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road to just one contractor without making it open, that's what Rufai Oseni was asking. That's why he's blasting them. That's why he's asking them for the question. Answer. Is it okay for you to just award this contract to one person? Something you could have awarded to several other people, but you're awarding to one person and you did not follow the constitutional prescribed way. And Felix Morka says it doesn't see any problem in it. That is something that we've never done. He wanted to give it to somebody with experience. And this is the experience Bola Tinubu was talking when he was talking to the man, when he said, oh, they tamed the Atlantic Ocean. They can do the same thing as well. But again, the question is it right to follow that process? And if you're expecting him to say yes, or sorry, or no, that's a lie, because that's the same government that would remove a democratic governor and lawmakers from a state without following the same due process and aided by the National Assembly. So you can see that it is a government that has no respect for the Constitution. This government has no respect for the Constitution. So, and then this man here, Felix Morka, is telling Nigerians, saying it's okay that the economy is looking up. It's in the right direction. And he's saying the same thing as well, telling Nigerians that, listen, the economy, even based on what bank IMF's ratings, go in the right direction, where more people are now in poverty, more people are more impoverished, more people are now malnourished, more people have lost their job, more people are unemployed. It is a government where you look at and you say, but when this Tinubu government came in, for example, our national debt internally and externally was what, 77 trillion, right? The national debt is right now 150 trillion and they're still borrowing more. But yet it tells us that the economy is actually looking up. When they make decisions and they don't follow the right processes, when you look at their processes and the way they're running the country, you understand why Nigerians are frustrated. You understand why Nigeria is where Nigeria is at the moment. So that's why this man has the effort to tell Rufai Oseni and tell other Nigerians, I don't see any problem with it. But you can see the way he sidestepped the question. Go back to Umahi. Don't ask me this question. I'm going to give my own talking point. My talking point is keep talking about how good the economy is, when in the face of the obvious, the economy is bad. In Omole Sowore's statement, he said that Bola Tinubu is the undertaker that has come to bury Nigeria. And that's the same truth. And you can see he's saying that the markers. So I think Dr. Abati was trying to ask him, what markers? Which markers are showing that Nigeria is in the right direction? Which markers? You're celebrating the 30-kilometer construction, where there's 700 in total. You've not even done a quarter of it, and you're commissioning 30 kilometers. And the question is, at what cost? What is the cost per kilometer? David Umahi did not answer it. He did not answer it. He sidestepped it. What is the cost? This is aside the over-padding of our budgets. The way they pad budgets in Nigeria. Our politicians, the way they've ruined our country. This government, listen, recently, the National Assembly was accused of asking tertiary institutions to pad the budget so that they can pass their budget. They were asking them to bribe them. That's the same National Assembly that's allowed and given consent for Tinubu to keep borrowing money. So it doesn't matter the kind of talking heads they bring on. The thing is as a people, we have to keep calling out our government and put pressure on them to keep doing right by us. This question that Rufai Oseni asked, they're more like questions. They're not blasting him, but it appears to be like, I'm calling you out on your stupidity. So you might want to say Rufai Oseni is just blasting Bola Tinubu administration and talking to and also David Umahi and this Felix Morka. This is the same Felix Morka that told Peter Obi then, saying, whatever he gets, he has it coming for him, because Peter Obi was being critical about the government. This is a government that doesn't want opposition. That's why they're doing everything to ruin the country, to have it become a one-party state. So the onus is on me and you to make sure we keep speaking up. The onus is on me and you to make sure that we don't keep quiet, because our politicians, our public service office holders are people that are there to actually make the country work for us. And it says again that because we've never done a project like this kind of magnitude of project, therefore it's okay to give it out to one person. What is okay without following the right process? The Constitution makes sure that nobody is disadvantaged. But you know what? Our politicians have actually come to do it their own way to make sure they are the only ones who get the advantage, and every other Nigerian can suffer for as long as we like until we start to speak up. That's why we shouldn't stop talking. That's why 2027 is important. You have to remember that 2027 is very, very important for you, for me. We can't take it for granted. Don't think that 2027, when you get to 2027, it will be business. If you let that happen, you will cry for another 4 years, and they will come back again, and this cycle will continue. That's why we must make sure we keep sensitizing everybody. So that's why I would love it for you to share this content, subscribe, like, and share. And also recommend this channel. That's what we're doing here. We're making sure that more people are sensitized and they come to understand that they deserve a better government. Irrespective of the sycophancy of what you hear from other people, we deserve better governance. You don't need to know somebody to get a job. You don't. You need a government that is accountable to you, not one that's accountable to itself and to their cronies. So make 2027 count. But again, I love it that Rufai Oseni blast the Bola Tinubu administration and call this man out. I love it that he, with subtle reference to Umahi. Again, if you're meeting this content, please like, share, subscribe, and also recommend this channel to others. If you've been following us and you've not done so, please do so. And also continue to push this content out because we need to get to more people as before 2027. I will catch you up in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.